That's what off.
Actually, now you say that,
That's another thing.
that's another thing that's coming back to me. Yeah, I have absolutely no recollection of anything else other than that. And watching the pre-show nonsense that all the girls like with the dresses and
when they're walking.
yeah, and just that's it. The green dress stands out, and that's all I remember. So we stayed up. We watched the entire show. We got to, I think it was about 6 a.m. It finished the actual ceremony, and then it's all, oh, you won this. Let's have interviews. So we sat and watched a little bit of it on the news. You know, we may have even watched GMTV's coverage of it. That's how rock and roll we are. Yeah,
right.
Fiona Phillips going, that's a nice dress. Yeah, it is. Thanks. But we sat and watched that, and then around about 7 o'clock, it was 7 a.m. We've been awake since God knows what time, the morning previous. So we decided we're going to go on a curly whirly run. Yeah.
Purely for curly whirlies?
Yeah, that was it. It was like, right, it's like 7 o'clock, we should really go to bed. Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm starving though. Should we go to the newsagent around the corner will be open? Oh yeah, it will. Well, not going to get proper food though, are we? No, but we can get curly whirlies. And honestly, I forget who suggested it. One of us, but whoever it was a great suggestion because I really love curly whirlies. But we decided to go, and so that was it. Obviously we'd been up all night. We were clearly quite knackered, and you know, you could have packed for 3 months in the bags under our eyes and all sorts of things. So we go, we find this shop, little corner shop run by the scousest woman in the world, which I realise is not very good English, but
that's okay. Scouse throw.
Well, it wasn't far off, yeah. And so we went into the shop and she properly looked at us like we were coming to rob her. At 7 a.m.
I told you not to go into shops with shooters.
Well, you know, I took my balaclava off and said, look, it's okay. We're not going to do you. And we went and found curly whirlies, and that was it. We walked back. I thought I should go home then. So I went, yeah, okay. So John went to bed. I went back to campus because I had a lecture at 9 o'clock.
Oh, hardcore.
And again, I have no recollection of what it was. I just knew I'd made about 4 words of notes on the page while I sat sort of colouring it in.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much what I did for that entire lecture. But I wandered all the way back. I went to mine, I had some breakfast and a shower, and then I was like, do I go to bed or no, I should really go to this lecture. Right, I'm going to the lecture. And I sat there, and that's a blank hour of my life. I have no recollection of it.
I had a few lectures like that.
Well, yeah, I mean quite a lot of them were like that.
Crystal meth, terrible.
Yeah, it was awful for the memory. But yeah, so I went to this lecture, and I came back, and I went, pretty much just fell into bed. So this is sort of 10, quarter past 10. 20 minutes later, no more than 20 minutes later, I hear this bang on my door, and it sounds like the Nazis coming to get Anne Frank. That's what it was like. It was like proper hurtling kicking at the door.
Yeah.
I'm in bed, my head maybe 6 inches from the door, because it was a very small campus, you know, on campus room. And so I'm sitting there, and this noise goes off in my head, and my entire body goes, what do you want? Yeah, so I sort of reached, without getting out of bed, I reached up, opened the door, sort of peeked out, and there were 2 girls that weren't even in my class. 2 girls that I knew that lived downstairs. Penny and Vicky, their names were. Well, you just going to help us with our essays. You're good at that, aren't you? And I sort of went, I'm asleep, fuck off. Shut the door, locked it, went back to sleep. About an hour later, they came back, and there was this same horrible thrashing at the door. I was like, look, I told you I'm asleep. Oh, we need your help. Well, okay, stop coming in such a weird voice, but what? Can you just do this? It's dead easy. It was a first year English language essay. But we need your help, you're good at this. I was like, I'm asleep, I've been up all night. Come back in like 8 hours or something. Can we come back in like maybe 4 hours? I'm like, no, I'm asleep.
She's like, come back now and get in bed,
well,
dude.
I didn't say that because I'm not that bold, but yeah, anyway. I sort of said, no. Okay, well, will you help us? I said, yeah, okay. Will you help us if we make you food? If we cook for you? Yeah, okay.
It's getting better.
Well, I'm thinking, well, by the time I get up, it'll be sort of tea time. The essay is easy. I've written the essay in like 45 minutes. And mine was pretty good, because it was easy. It was one of those essays that the first year always throws at you, that you've done at sixth form. Yeah. It was like an analysis of an advert or something. And it's exactly the same things that I've done for a year and a half doing my A-levels. So I was like, yeah, this is easy. Bang, 45 minutes, there you go, done. Well, we'll cook tea for you. Oh, right, okay, right. I'll come down about 5 o'clock then. thinking, yeah, I've got 6 hours to sleep, that's brilliant, I'll get up, have a shower and go around.
I would have said, right, I'll help you if both of you kiss.
And again, I'm not that bold.
You'd be surprised what girls, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I really need, how much do you need help on this essay? You have to cook for me. Right, okay. I'll come and help, that's fine. So, I went back to sleep, and as it happens, I only slept for a couple of hours, because I'm not a sleeper. And I got up and, faffed around, and then about 5 o'clock I went round, knocked on the door, and there they were. We're going to make dinner for you. I was like, oh, brilliant, so I'm getting a proper, slap-up feast here. So, Barbie spaghetti on toast. Which was brilliant, and really nice, but, I'm helping you with your essay, you're making me a proper meal. So they pull out Barbie spaghetti on toast. I was like, well, I haven't got better meals than that if I'd cooked it myself.
Is it in the shape of?
In the shape of Barbie, yeah.
Right, okay.
The little pink tins, the ones, these were, to be fair, these were very girly girls.
Yeah.
And they're 18 and they're still...
I like where this story's going, honestly.
No, you don't. It's not that exciting. But yeah, there's something maybe this spaghetti on toast, and I think I got some dessert, but I don't know what it was. Again, it's faded into obscurity at the Barbie. That's the only memory, that's the only detail I remember. And then we sat and wrote the essay. And the essay was, like I said, mine was dead easy. I did it quickly. It wasn't a challenging essay. So I decided to help them. I helped them for maybe an hour. And after 25 minutes of that hour, I was getting really frustrated that they just weren't getting it. It was a really easy thing. But we'd studied for about 3 weeks before this essay was due in. And I'd already done, 2 years before. And so in theory, it was a nice easy essay. And I'm, yeah, I'll help you. And after about 25 minutes, I went, do you know what? It doesn't matter. Just come and see me tomorrow. Bye. Because I'm going to write the essay for you. And I don't want to, put their degrees in jeopardy or anything, but they were only first year marks. They don't matter too much. But yeah, I basically wrote almost word for word my essay, changed the words.
Yeah.
And then that was their essays. And we handed them in. I went home, went to bed, big time. Got the essays back about 2 weeks later. I pulled a first for mine, which is, I think, the only first I ever got.
Alright.
Because I was average and lazy and all of those things at college. Toasted by on natural ability instead of actually doing any work.
Well, you're staying up all night just to watch Kate Winslet.
Well, there is that, yeah. Yeah. And I'm thinking, well, I've not really been to sleep. I'm writing their essays for them. These are going to be bad. But they're still going to be better than the essays they were going to write because they just weren't picking it up. They weren't getting it. And we got the marks back, and I got a first, and they pulled pretty decent, sort of high 60s, high 2-1s. Because I'd written the essay for them. It was basically the same as mine, only not as good because I obviously watered it down slightly, so it wasn't nearly as good.
The picture at the bottom wasn't quite so good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it wasn't quite as in depth an analysis of an advert of all things. And I forget what it was for, but I've got this image of there being a lamp in the picture, so I'm assuming it was for some sort of furniture place or something like that.
Right.
But the only reason I did it was because at that point I had a massive crush on one of them. See, there's always a reason.
There's a route.
And one of them, yeah, we joined like I forget what it was. It's like the Footlights type society that they have, the musical and theatre and things. Yeah. And I'd gone to about 3 of those with this girl Penny.
Right.
And then I went, do you know what? I hate musicals. I'm leaving. And I never went back.
Okay.
And we sort of stayed friends at uni as you do, in that same way that you sort of see people go, yeah, I know you from the first year.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I know loads of friends like that.
Yeah.
Like best mates for the first 2 weeks, and you drift.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You know them, but
I've said this to a few people. I had really 3 proper friends in the first year. One of whom was John. One of whom was his girlfriend, who we started off just as 3, and then they got together, and it was like, oh, cheers.
You became the other one out.
A little bit, yeah. And then, as it happens, we got to the end of the first year and John left anyway, so it was just like, then it was back to just us 2, and that was weird because it was like, that's your boyfriend who's my mate.
Right.
And we moved in with other people and we had these friends, but yeah, these 2 girls, Penny and Vicky, sort of became the friends that you saw in passing and went, oh yeah, you're alright. That's it.
Yeah.
In that same way that I think you mentioned to me the other day about seeing somebody that you vaguely know who works in my shop. And you sort of bumped into each other.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah, you alright? Yeah.
It's just enough to say hello and acknowledge people.
Yeah, but then you haven't got enough to stop
You've got no
conversation.
You've got no chat.
Nothing at all. And so that was as much as of the relationship that ever happened. Never did land.